It's not fabricated. His mama told him. And Wanda wrote an affidavit. The affidavit's been out there all this time, all these years. Now, all of a sudden, it's fabricated? First of all, everybody, this case has been going on since 2000, I want to say 2011. It's been 14 years. 14 years of us pursuing, in the beginning, paternity, and then after that, the damages and all the things that go along with litigating fraud. Let's get that clear, right? There has been no maternity after that. What we're doing right now in California against Mr. Carter, Jay-Z, we are looking for damages, everybody. We're not looking to go back and do any kind of do-over, if you will, of a state court. Let's get that clear, right? This case that we're doing is not about paternity. It is about fraud and fraud upon the courts.
The lawsuit is wild. It's all about Rymir, Satterwhite, and Jay-Z, who Rymir insists is his father. Nobody ever thought Jay-Z or Beyonce would even flinch at a claim like this. But guess what? They did. Jay-Z came straight out swinging, pointing out that Satterwhite, the man who's been screaming that he's Jay-Z's hidden son, already got slammed with an injunction back in 2022 for clogging up the courts with endless bogus filings. And now Jay's demanding that this brand new lawsuit filed in federal court be thrown out immediately. Sources close to the situation say Jay sees the whole thing as nothing but a cash grab, and Beyonce supposedly agrees with him 100%. Even crazier, insiders are saying Jay and Bey managed to push Rymir into dropping the complaint altogether. That's the kind of power move only they could pull off, and people in the industry are whispering that this was a strategic takedown to protect the empire. But here's where things get messy. The lawsuit wasn't just filed by Rymir alone. His godmother, Lily Coley, jumped right in with him, dragging Jay-Z's name into court papers yet again. And Jay-Z didn't just ignore it. He followed the judge's orders to respond by July 18th, showing that he's not playing games anymore. And just so you know how official this is, let me read the exact words from the order. Before the court is the ex parte application for additional time to plead or otherwise respond to complaint filed by defendant Sean Corey Carter. For reasons discussed herein, the court grants the ex parte application and orders that defendant's deadline to respond to plaintiff's complaint be extended to July 18th, 2025. This case is heating up in ways nobody saw coming, and the drama is far from over. So here's where the plot thickens. Plaintiff Lily Coley officially launched this lawsuit on May 6, 2025, and by May 29th, she filed proof that Jay-Z had been served on May 19th. But wait, it didn't stop there. She came back again on June 13th with even more proof of service, like she was stacking receipts. Then just 2 days later, on June 15th, she tried to get a default judgment against Jay-Z.
I was 7. My mom had to sit down with me. I guess she thought I was old enough to know now, and she been saying Sean Carter, that's what she was calling him at first before she was calling it Jay-Z, and I really didn't know who that was because I was young and, you know, had my little brother, and I really wasn't worrying about it. She was saying it a lot, but I really just was going along with the person I was just seeing, like the person I looked at who was taking care of me at that time. I really wasn't really trying to understand what my mom was talking about, but she constantly put it in my head like, son, it's not your father, and I really want you to know it is. This person is your father, and I just want you to know. And she continued to tell me that over the years and over the years and over the years, even until I was grown.
Basically saying, he didn't show up, so I win by default. But the clerk wasn't buying it and denied her request the very next day. Not backing down, Coley went right back on June 16th and filed a second request for default. And this one is still hanging in the air. But here's where the drama really pops off. In a sworn declaration on that exact same day, Coley claimed she hadn't received any word from Jay-Z's legal team. No agreements, no responses, nothing. But Jay-Z's defense counsel clapped back with receipts of her own. In her sworn declaration, she swore that she had been emailing Coley since June 11th, sending multiple messages and even attaching proof. She also said she got on the phone with Coley about an extension request. So somebody's clearly not telling the whole truth. With all these conflicting stories, the judge had to step in and remind both sides about Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11, which is basically the court saying, don't lie or play games in here. Jay-Z's defense also noted that he didn't even know about this lawsuit until June 3rd, and while he thinks service wasn't done properly, he's showing up anyway, just to cover himself. This back and forth is already looking like a courtroom showdown, and the tension is only rising. Jay-Z's defense team came in strong. His lawyer filed a declaration saying she tried and failed to get in touch with the plaintiff to work out an extension. Since that went nowhere, Jay's side officially asked the court to give him until July 18, 2025 to respond to the complaint. And the judge agreed. The order was crystal clear. The court grants the ex parte application and orders that defendant's deadline to respond to plaintiff's complaint be extended to July 18, 2025. It is so ordered. But here's where the courtroom paperwork turns into real tea. The root of this whole mess goes back decades, all the way to 1982. Word is, ER's mother, Wanda, allegedly had a late-night fling with Jay-Z at his aunt's Brooklyn apartment after he first scooped her up in Philadelphia. They supposedly tried using protection, but it failed. And aside from one more quick visit from Jay 2 weeks later, Wanda says she never saw him again. Things get even more tangled. Wanda apparently had no way to reach Jay-Z after that. Fast forward years later, when ER was about 8, his mom sat him down and told him straight up she believed Jay-Z was his father. At that point, ER's birth certificate still listed her then-boyfriend Robert Graves as the dad. But in 2011, Robert's name was legally removed after a DNA test proved he wasn't the biological father. Wanda told ER that she had only ever been with 2 men back then, Jay-Z and Robert, and since Robert was ruled out, she was convinced Jay had to be the father. This backstory is the bombshell fueling the lawsuit, and it's exactly why the case has blown up into such a spectacle. Now here's where things get even darker. Rumor has it Wanda tried before to get Jay-Z to step up and take responsibility. She even filed a civil lawsuit for child support years back, but it was tossed out because it was filed in the wrong state, and she never brought it back again. At that time, Jay-Z's own lawyer reportedly stated flat out that Jay had zero interest in ER's custody. But ER didn't give up. For over a decade, he's been pushing hard for Jay-Z to take a paternity test. And yet, Jay has never agreed. Not once in more than 10 years. Why? Well, insiders whisper that the reason runs deep, because taking that test could force Jay-Z to acknowledge Wanda, who was just 16 when she gave birth to ER. That timeline would spark a scandal Jay-Z has never wanted attached to his name. Think about it. That would mean Jay-Z might have been involved with someone underage, and the fallout from that kind of revelation could shatter everything. Wanda's own godmother even spoke on it, saying, "I got a call from his in-house lawyer, and they were very helpful. We thought we would resolve this privately." They even talked about Rymir's music talent and whether it was the right time to sign him to the label, but he had to finish high school first, so I said no. Then suddenly, different lawyers jumped in, and the entire attitude flipped. I think they realized there was way more at stake for Sean, given that Wanda was not of age. That one statement alone hints at why Jay-Z has fought so hard to keep this buried. Because if true, it's not just about money, it's about protecting a reputation worth billions. Jay-Z and this family have been locked in battle for years, and Mia even took it all the way to the Supreme Court. But the nation's highest court threw the case out, saying it didn't have the power to reopen appeal decisions or unseal old trial records. Still, Mia wasn't backing down. He refiled in the appellate division of the New Jersey Superior Court, trying once again to force Jay-Z into a DNA showdown. But the process turned into a nightmare. Jay-Z's lawyers argued that since he doesn't live in New Jersey and doesn't own property there, the state can't touch him. And without jurisdiction, Mir couldn't force him to take the test. Even so, the court ordered Jay-Z to respond to the latest complaint. And when he finally did, his tone was cold and sharp. Jay-Z claimed he's been harassed for years by Mir and his godmother, dragged through endless lawsuits that keep bringing up the same tired allegations. In his filing, he blasted the complaint as recycled lies that have already been thrown out by multiple courts. He flat out said he's been harmed by these constant accusations, yet at the same time, he's never once officially confirmed or denied being Mir's father. Jay's legal team doubled down, pointing out that paternity was already established for someone else decades ago. They reminded the court that back in 1994, ER's mother named another man as the father, and that man was ordered to pay child support. They also highlighted that in 2010, a court warned Wanda she couldn't suddenly flip the script 17 years later and drag a second man into the middle of it. The back and forth has turned this case into one of the most drawn out and explosive celebrity legal battles ever, with no clear end in sight. Jay-Z's legal response hit back hard, pointing out that Wanda herself once identified another man as Mir's father 16 years ago, and never tried to change that claim until now. His team also brought up multiple court rulings from the past 15 years, all of which shut down Mir's accusations, calling them baseless. According to Jay-Z, this new lawsuit is nothing more than a sneaky attempt to dodge a 2022 injunction that already blocked Mir and his godmother from filing any more cases on this matter in New Jersey without the court's permission. That injunction came after the family tried suing one of Jay-Z's own attorneys, and the judge wasn't having it. Now Jay's lawyers are demanding that this latest case be thrown out immediately, and that Mir be ordered to cover Jay-Z's expenses for wasting the court's time. But Mir is standing his ground. When asked about the injunction, he fired back saying, "This injunction order I am not aware of and have never been served. All the orders from New Jersey regarding judges are in the appeals court, since they were derived from fraud to block our due process," which showed Jay-Z's wrongdoing of allegations of perjury. And Mir didn't stop there. He pushed back against the old claim that his mother named another man, reminding everyone that his mother wasn't of legal age when she got pregnant. He insists Jay-Z is his real father and refuses to let that go. Even more shocking, Mir has made it clear that this fight isn't about money. In his latest filing, he stressed that he's not chasing unpaid child support. What he wants are damages for emotional distress, reputational harm, lost financial support, and his legal costs. For him, this is about respect, truth, and clearing his name, not just chasing a payout. Remember when I told you Mir was hitting a wall because Jay-Z's lawyers claimed he didn't own property in New Jersey? Well, Mir clapped back with receipts. He pulled up Beyonce's own mother, Tina Knowles, who admitted in her book that Jay-Z did in fact own property in New Jersey back then. That's a game changer, because if true, it could blow a hole through Jay-Z's entire defense. And on top of that, Mir pointed out that Jay-Z's had his DNA since 2011, so why hasn't the truth come out by now? Even Mir's godmother wasn't staying quiet. She fired back at Jay-Z's legal team, saying the court itself confirmed that Jay was served properly and on time. She also stressed that this whole thing isn't even about paternity anymore, at least not directly. According to her, none of them, not Mir, not Wanda, not even herself, have ever been found in contempt of court, despite this case dragging on for over a decade. She insisted that the mess is really about legal confusion and missteps, not them breaking the law. But then came the twist nobody expected. On July 22nd, Mir suddenly filed paperwork to withdraw his case. Fans online immediately went into meltdown, asking what was going on. And Mir jumped on X, formerly Twitter, to explain, saying, "Hello, changes were made to my case on July 18th, 2025, about 3:30 p.m. This was done due to changes made to my case we were not aware of. We will explain soon, but it's all about my mother." That cryptic statement only raised more questions. Why drop the case after fighting for over 10 years? What happened with his mother? And why does Mir keep hinting that there's something bigger going on behind the scenes? He's promised to clear it up soon, but until then, the mystery is eating up the internet. So now I want to hear from you. What do you make of Jay-Z's response to this lawsuit? And do you believe Mir's claims that Jay's had his DNA all along? Drop your thoughts in the comments, let's talk about it. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next update.